Let's be honest for a second, brother. You've probably noticed a strange pattern in your life. The harder you try with her, the less interest she shows. The more you bend over backwards to prove your love, the faster she starts slipping away. And the moment you put her at the center of your world, she starts acting like she doesn't need you at all. It feels unfair, right? You try to be the loyal, respectful, consistent guy, yet you're the one who gets ignored or ghosted. Meanwhile, the guy who barely responds to her texts is the one she's chasing. That's why this conversation matters. Not because women are against you, they're not. It's because you've been handed the wrong set of rules. Until you understand what actually builds attraction, you'll keep repeating the same painful cycle. So let's break it down. Why chasing never worked, and why stepping into the man she respects changes everything. First, chasing makes you predictable. Think about the last time you got a new phone or game. At first, you couldn't put it down. But once you knew every feature, the excitement faded. That's what happens when you constantly chase a woman. She already knows you're available, knows you're all in. And as comforting as that sounds, certainty often kills attraction. Women don't lose interest because they want chaos. They lose it when there's no edge, no tension, no mystery left. The man who doesn't chase leaves her curious. Why isn't he blowing up my phone like the rest? That uncertainty sparks life and attraction. First, chasing makes you predictable. Think about the last time you got a new phone or game. At first, you couldn't put it down. But once you knew every feature, the excitement faded. That's what happens when you constantly chase a woman. She already knows you're available, knows you care, knows you're all in. And as comforting as that sounds, certainty often kills attraction. Women don't lose interest because they want chaos. They lose it when there's no edge, no tension, no mystery left. The man who doesn't chase leaves her curious. Why isn't he blowing up my phone like the rest? That uncertainty sparks life and attraction. Second, attention is currency, and most men spend it recklessly. Today, attention is the most valuable thing you can give. Everyone online is fighting for it. But here's the truth. When you give it away without standards, it loses its worth. A guy who replies instantly, comments on everything, never holds back. At first she smiles, but deep down she thinks, if his attention is this easy to get, does it even matter? But when your attention is rare and intentional, it hits harder. One compliment from a man who values himself means more than 1,000 words from someone desperate. Don't treat your attention like loose change. Treat it like gold. Third, purpose is magnetic. Most men miss this. She doesn't want to be your purpose. She wants to join a man who already has one. If you drop your goals, your friends, your habits, just to make her happy, she feels the weight of it. And instead of love, she feels pressure. But when she sees you locked into your mission, building your future, so focused that her presence is a bonus and not your lifeline, she feels something rare. Respect. That's why the man grinding in silence is unforgettable. He's not glued to his phone because he's too busy chasing progress. And that quiet focus, that's the energy women crave. Fourth, constant validation kills attraction. Everyone likes appreciation, but when you're always fishing for approval, you drain her respect. The guy who calls her beautiful 10 times a day, agrees with everything, changes his opinions to avoid conflict, it doesn't look like love. It looks like insecurity, and insecurity turns women off fast. You don't need to prove yourself with endless praise. You don't need her applause to know who you are. A man who validates himself, who stands firm in his beliefs even when she disagrees, creates attraction because she sees strength, not neediness. Fifth, boundaries create desire. Picture two men. One answers every call, forgives every cancellation, and keeps rescheduling when she flakes. The other is kind but firm. She cancels last minute, he doesn't chase. If she disrespects his time, he moves on. Who does she respect more? Exactly. The first thinks he's proving loyalty, but she sees weakness. Boundaries aren't walls to keep women out. They're doors that make what's inside valuable. When you respect yourself enough to say no, to hold your ground, to walk away if needed, that's when she realizes you're different, and that's when attraction grows. Sixth, emotions need breathing room. Most guys suffocate the connection by oversharing too soon, over-explaining feelings, or pressuring her for answers. But like fire, attraction needs air. If you keep piling logs on without space, it burns out. It needs time to wonder, to miss you, to lean in on her own. Stop forcing, stop rushing, let it unfold naturally. That's when it feels real, not forced. Seventh, she craves presence, not pressure. There's a huge difference between being needy and being present. Needy men hover, over-text, and constantly seek reassurance. Present men simply are, calm, steady, fully in the moment. They listen, they make eye contact. They don't demand, they ground. Pressure feels heavy, like you're taking something. Presence feels safe, like she can breathe around. And that feeling, that safety and steadiness, is what sticks with her. 8th, self-respect is the foundation of attraction. At the end of the day, it comes down to how much you value yourself. If you don't respect your time, your energy, your goals, she won't either. Self-respect isn't coldness or cruelty. It's carrying yourself like a man who knows his worth, a man who doesn't beg for scraps, a man who doesn't need to be chosen because he already chooses himself. And that changes everything. Here's the truth, brother. Attraction isn't about overgiving or proving yourself. It's about becoming the man who values his own energy, the man with a mission bigger than her, the man who doesn't crumble without her validation. Women don't fall for the men who chase. They fall for the men who lead. And the moment you stop begging to be chosen and start choosing yourself first, everything shifts.